This video will show you how to get set up with the free version of Microsoft Teams. This is somewhat a limited version that you can use if you're not part of an Office 365 business or enterprise deployment. Maybe you run a small business and need to communicate with just a few coworkers, something like that. So, you can start here on this page.
Alternatively, you can search for Teams Microsoft 365 or go to the Microsoft.com website and search Teams from there.
But before we set up, you can scroll down to see a feature comparison between the free version and the full version of Teams. If these limitations are okay with you, then we can go back up and get started.
So I'm going to click this button that says Sign up for free. You should start by putting in your email address. If you do happen to have an email address for an existing Microsoft account, you should probably use that. If you do not have a Microsoft account that you want to use, then you can just put in your existing email address. And if you're setting up Teams to communicate with coworkers, it is good to use your work email address. I'll put in an email address for the account I want to use. Then click Next. In this case, since the email address is not already associated with a Microsoft account, it is going to prompt me to create a new account with Microsoft that will be tied to that email address. I'll click Create an account, and I'll need to establish a password. So I'll put in the password I want to use. Click Next, and then it will probably take you through some security verification steps. Just follow these prompts, and I'm going to skip ahead to save some time. So now I have an account set up that I can use for free Microsoft services, including Teams. Once you have that account, it will bring you to this page where you will need to fill in some information about you and your organization for your teams. Just fill this out, and I've already filled out this information here. Then you can click Set up Teams. Just give it a moment to get things set up and confirm for you. Then it may prompt you to install or use the desktop application, but you can stick with the web interface for now. So I'm just going to click Cancel and use web app instead. There are a few little things that you need to do here. For now, I'm just going to close this window, and it'll show me a few prompts with some information on how to use Teams. So I'm just going to skip past that. You can see over here, if you're in a Teams category, there's one team already on here in this list created for you. We'll talk more about creating and joining teams as we go through this course. But next, there's something that's unique to the free version of Teams, and it's very important. As we go through this course, I'll talk about the people in your organization. These are the people you'll be working with for users of the full version of Teams. We are talking about people who have an account with your organization's Office 365 plan, usually your coworkers at your company. But here, in the free version, there's nobody in your organization unless you invite them. So we're going to click this button down here that says invite people. There are a few options here, but usually you go to invite by email. Then you can put in the name and email address for the person that you want to work in Teams. So I'm going to click invite by email, and I'm just going to put one person in here. You can fill more in, of course. And if you use all of these fields, you can click add and the field will expand. But I'm just going to put one in for now and click send invite. The people that you've invited will get an email with a link to join your team. And if they've not already registered, they will need to go through the same account setup process that we just saw. Then they will be a member of your team. In the future, when you want to get back to this page, you can just go to teams.microsoft.com and sign in with the account you just set up. Remember, the free version of Teams is a little bit limited. I won't go through all of the differences, but you should see that the calendar section is not over here on the sidebar on the left. That is something you get in the full version of Teams. So things like calendar integration and scheduled meetings are not available in the free version. Things like that will limit what you can do, and it will mean that some of the topics in this course will just not be relevant to you. Now to finish up, I want to click on the account button near the top right corner. It will have your initials and your picture on it. This will open up this menu. There's an option to download and install the desktop application if you prefer to use that. There's also an option here for Manage Org, and that's where you go to manage your organization and you can invite more people to your organization or remove them from here. And you also have this option down here at the bottom to sign out. Most of the other options here will be the same as the full version, and we'll see some of the options as we go through this course. And in the rest of this course, we'll be using the full version of Teams. Just keep an eye out for a few differences as we go.